This is a 2007 Fairline Phantom 48 and it's a rather lovely piece of kit. So I'm going to give you the full tour of this one. As ever, we're going to do the inside, we're going to do the outside, the decks, the flybridge, the engine room. There's even a small crew cabin on this one. So I'm going to take in the whole lot. One thing I do like about it, first of all, is the styling. I love the way they've done this moulding in along here. It looks really sharp. It's a good looking boat. Anyway, we'll go around the back and we'll take a look on board and give you the full tour. So we have bathing platform on the back. Now in 2007 the high-low platforms weren't as common, so what you do with this one is you can see this is a passerelle that will lower down and extend out to give you access from a quay, but what it will also do is lift a tender up on and sit it onto this bathing platform, and that's why it's got these little holes here, these stainless steel plates, because you can put chocks into there, sit your rib on there, and that's where your tender lives. If we head over here, this one is a boarding ladder, so that slides out to give you access from the sea. There's a shower tucked away in here and the control for it next to it, and you might notice hinges on here. That's because in here we've got the inlets for the shore support and also a second one for air conditioning, so you can run that from the shore power. And then if we step on board, nice big cockpit area here at the back. One thing I will show you, if we go over on this side, this is like a safety locker. So in here we've got manual bilge pumps for 3 areas: forward, engine bay and aft. There are electric pumps. As standard, of course, these are backups, so that if you've ever had a problem you've still got a way of pumping the bilges. Fuel shut-offs are here as well for both engines and the generator, and the automatic fire extinguishers can be fired off from here as well. So that's just really like a safety locker. Let's head on in. You've got the big sliding door here, of course, and this takes us into the saloon. It's a Fairline, so very nicely appointed and some nice details. One thing I do like is this rail up in the deck head here, so when you're walking around the boat, the weather's not quite so kind, you have got something to hang on to when you go from the helm out to the decks and back again. But this is a very social area. You've got seating here, seating all the way around here. This table will unfold, you can see the hinges for it, so if we move this little object out of the way, that opens up, and of course the other one does exactly the same. That's just a little rubber insert, so it sits on there without rattling. Nice bit of attention to detail. And then if we come on through, TV's built in down here. It's a 2007 boat, so they were a little bit smaller back in the day. You could of course put a freestanding one on there if you wanted a bit more television. And then these are lockers, that's for your drinks in there. And one that I did find quite intriguing was this one, because what you got in here is all of your crockery and your glasses. I think that's very nicely done on a sort of red baize. Excellent. And more storage, of course, all the way around. And the other thing we find here then over on this side is the helm position. So you've got the 2 seats here and the dash across here. This is your main battery switches, so switching on the port master, starboard master, domestics, the generator, all the battery isolators are easily got at from there. And you've got this quite nice pictogram here as well to tell you what is lit up and fired up and so on. Vents out of an Audi TT, very tactile. Your multifunction display is there, so that's radar, chart plotter and so on. Autopilot on this one, and then your speed and depth is over here. A couple of other things to show you. Generator controllers on here as well, and these you'll see dotted around the boat. These are air conditioning controls, and that semicircle there, that's for an opening window, so you can undo that, slip that around and get a little bit of ventilation into here. All this is done in black, low glare, so that it doesn't reflect in the screen, so that's good attention to detail. And let's come back across here and we'll step down. Now this is a galley down layout, as they tended to be in 2007. It's before the galley aft became popular. I actually think this works well because it gives you a completely separate area then for preparing food, and it leaves all of that main deck for socialising, and of course the helm. Again, some nice attention to detail. I love this stainless steel sort of splashback that goes all the way around. You've got an extractor fan up underneath there. It's a 4-burner ceramic hob, fridge underneath it, so that's pretty good size. This of course is all storage around the place, like so. Big sinks on this side, again a load more storage down underneath. And then up here is a combination microwave, so that's a microwave but also a grill and a conventional oven. So nice galley area. There's even under the floor they've tucked in more storage so you can get a load of tins and other bits and pieces and put them all underneath there. They've really used every inch on here. So if we come out from here, we'll find a passageway, and this then takes us forward. A couple of doors on either side. We'll come back to those, of course. We'll head right to the front first of all, and that is actually the VIP cabin. It looks like the master cabin, but I discovered that it's not. I'll show you that in a moment. Really good sized cabin, actually. You've got storage in places like this. There's a big hanging locker tucked away in there, and all of these, of course, as well, are storage all the way around the bed. Here there's a hatch up above, so you've got ventilation there and light if you want it. There's a screen over it at the moment, and you've also got drawers buried down here underneath the bed, so loads of places to tuck stuff away. And then this one has, over on the port side, an ensuite. Now that is also the day heads, but it's a really good size, and you have got a completely separate shower store. You can see that over here with this glass door that opens like that. Nicely finished. I love the teak on the floor. That looks great. So that's that. If we head back down the boat a little bit further, we'll find that door is the access to make it a day head. So during the day, people come down these steps, round, and then straight in. And also it means that at night that toilet can be used by cabin 3, and that's in here. Bunk beds on this one, really good size actually. They're full length for an adult, and you've got storage then tucked away behind the door, so you can get all your bits and pieces in there. And then if we head back again, this then takes us back to the master cabin. Now in 2007, full beam master cabins were pretty rare. I think this is one of the first boats to get it, in fact. The bed's across the boat, but it is, you can see there's windows on that side. There's a boat right next to us at the minute, so we can't see much out of those. And the windows over on this side. So as I say, it is the full beam of the boat, and that makes that a really good size. You've got great headroom as you come into the cabin just here. It does dip a little bit as you go forward, but it's all very usable. And as I say, for a sub 50-foot boat, I think that's pretty good. What else have we got in here? Tons of storage as you'd expect. So places like this are illuminated hanging lockers. And you've got this area here. These are all drawers across here as you would expect. Like so. And then over here again, more hanging space. It is the sort of boat you can come down to and spend a decent amount of time on, actually, because you can get all your stuff on here. This one isn't actually a locker. What you've got here is circuit breakers. So all of your equipment, your DC equipment, so your autopilot and your horn and your lights and everything else is all controlled from there. And then you've got the AC circuit breakers up above. So that's pretty neat, everything where you can get to it easily. And as I say, big hull windows on the outside as well. And this has its own separate ensuite. So if we go into here, really nice size actually. Again, that lovely teak floor. You've got your sink in here, the loo of course, and another separate shower stall. Very nice indeed. A little wave for the mirror and we'll carry on. So that is the lower deck. We'll come back out of here. As I say, that's back up to that VIP guest cabin, and then the other cabin is over on the starboard side. Back past the galley. Nearly called it the heads. That's the galley. You don't want to get those mixed up, that's for sure. And then back out to this area. I do like this. I think that's very social, very comfortable. Imagine 6 people on this boat. You could really have a good time on here. Let's go and have a look around the outside at the decks and the flybridge, and as I say, we'll take in the engine space, and I promised you a small crew cabin. I'll find you that one as well. Slip my shoes back on. So we're going to head up this side first of all. I like the way they've done these rails. They come all the way back, so literally as you walk up you've got a handrail all the way up onto the deck, another handrail up here as well. And then the glazing here, this is the helm. That's that little window that opens next to the helm for a bit of ventilation. Also the helmsman can speak to the crew. Sunbathing up here on the foredeck. And then we come right up to the bow And you've got electric anchor winch, of course, here. Big locker in here, actually. It's not just the anchor chain. You've also got space for fenders and that kind of thing in there. And then we'll come right on round. It's got teak decks on here, which is rather nice. Come back down here, back past your sunbathing cushions, and we'll go and take a look at that Flybridge up on the top. These little poppers, in case you're wondering, so you can put a windscreen cover that comes right around and covers all this up when you're leaving the boat. That's a really good idea because it stops the sun from bleaching the interior. And also, of course, you can put it on at night and give yourself a bit of privacy, because the curtains, you can't really get curtains that hang from a windscreen because of the way that it slopes inwards. So up here, stairs up to the Flybridge, and then right at the front, helm position here, twin seats. Again, you've got the multifunction display and the autopilot and that kind of thing, engine controls, a great view as you'd expect. We're in Salton's Marina at the minute, where boats.co.uk have a base. It's a very beautiful part of the world, actually. A bit grey today, but very pretty. If we come back from here a little bit, seating up then next to the helm, that's great because when you're cruising, you can have a couple of people here who can have a chat here if they want to. Just makes, again, a nice social space, bearing in mind that these will almost certainly be owner operated. You won't find one of these with a crew normally. Very, very rare to do so. Over on this side then, there is the bar area, so you've got the grill here and a sink that of course lifts up like so, and underneath there's a little fridge, and then you've got just a bit of storage next to it for your bits and pieces. And then after this, again, a lovely social area, great place to gather for a meal in the evening or just to relax and take in the view. And of course you do get a great view from the Flybridge. You can see even here we've got a terrific view out over the marina. If you're out at anchor, of course, it's even nicer. Big table out here for dining around, and just a ton of seating all the way around the back. And this stainless steel framework up here, this is for a bimini top, so if you're somewhere really warm, you can bring this forward. It will have a canopy over it, so you have a flat top that will completely shade this area. And these little round fellows down here, these are lighting, so you've got lights that light all this up at night. And this hatch here then drops down. It's tied up at the moment, but that will drop down so that you can walk around here without worrying about dropping down there. It also means that there is a canopy that comes with the boat that goes all the way around the back of here and connects down, so this can all be enclosed a little bit like the boat next door. And so with that down then, this makes for another area, almost like a conservatory. So it gives you another space in the boat. Also, of course, protects all your upholstery out here and that kind of thing. What else can I show you? Crew cabin. That's tucked away back here. Now, I mentioned you wouldn't normally have a crew on these. This really is kind of like a storage area and somewhere where, you know, if you've got like a teenager or somebody who just wants their own space, that's probably what it's going to get used for. They call it a crew cabin. You're probably never actually going to have a crew member in here. So we've got a bed in there, and in fact also underneath the bed there's even a little toilet in here, and compact and bijou, even a little sink. It's not an area where you keep crew on a regular basis. As I say, it's for an occasional night, and it just gives you a bit of extra space in the boat. Most people would probably use this for storage. This guy's got some cushions in here, for example, and a flare pack and that sort of thing. But it just means that you've got extra use of this space. Use it as a storage if you want to, but if you did want to sleep someone down here for the odd occasion, it can be done. That one there is just access to systems. If we pop that one off carefully, then you'll see that's access to plumbing and pumps and so forth. Let's drop that back, and the only thing that we haven't seen then is the engines, and we'll access those back underneath the cockpit floor. So let's drop that one back down. The reason it's wet there because the boat has just been cleaned for me before I turned up, so that's why there's a bit of dampness around the place. And then this one, again, you've got to bear in mind this is a sub 50-foot boat, because at this size point this is about as close as you're going to get to a walk-in engine room. So just walk straight down here and then step down again, and these are the motors. Now what we've got in here is a pair of Volvo Penta engines. They're D9s and they are 575 horsepower each. They're going to give the boat I'm guessing 30 knots plus, 31, 32 knots, cruising certainly in the mid 20s. And range, well, that sort of speed, you're probably into the sort of 250 miles area. But these are a conventional shaft drive, so engines are here, the gearboxes are on the back of the engines, and then the shafts, and you can see them, there we go, you can just see them running back down underneath here, and they go out the back with propellers on the end and rudders behind those. So very simple, straightforward layout. Hot water system is in here, that's what that tank is, just there, and the big tank over there is fuel. There's one each side, of course, and the other thing that we find in here then is the generator. So this allows you to run things like the cooking and the air conditioning and the 240 volt equipment when you're away from shore power. And then finally there are some more circuit breakers over here for some of the systems like the trim tabs and so on, and also you've got charging systems in here for the batteries. But that is a very, very get-outable engine room, isn't it? As I say, for a sub 50-foot boat, I think that's brilliant. So let's come out of here and we will drop that one back down. I like the way they put fender storage underneath here. That's a neat trick. Just doubles up the utilisation of that space. There we go. And I think let's go and finish up back at the helm. As good a place as any, isn't it? So I will say thank you to boats.co.uk. They got this boat up for sale. I'll put details of those guys in the description, so if you're interested you can give them a shout. And as ever, thanks very much to you guys for watching. If you've not subscribed, do me a favour, do hit that button. It really helps the channel and it'll keep you posted of new videos as they get uploaded. We'll catch you on another one very soon. Take care, bye bye.